Hello everyone, myself Gaurav Kulkarni, and today I'll be sharing some information regarding the life cycle of an object in Java. So in life cycle we will see how the object is created and how the object will be managed and or destroyed. So first of all, what is meant by object? So object is nothing but object is a member of a Java class which has some identity, behavior and state also. So which object is also called as class. So object always exists in memory. So what is meant by life cycle and how the object is created and how the object is destroyed, we will check one by one. So the object basically exists in the memory until and unless you have destroyed it. So what is the reason for what purpose the object should be destroyed or should be deleted? So suppose if I have a 2 GB of 2 gigabytes of memory, so all the memory will be shared by other applications running at the same time also. And if I have to execute another program for which I need some free memory also, but if I don't have the free memory, the program will not be executed. So until and unless I am providing the free memory, the program will not execute. So for that purpose, I have to remove the unreachable, the inaccessible files and folders to free up the memory. So this is the basic concept where the garbage collector has been introduced. So suppose if I have to delete the files and folders manually one by one, it will take some time and this work is also tedious. So to do this work by default and automatically, the garbage collector will be introduced, which calls by the JVM, and it will destroy the unreachable or unspecified objects to free up the memory. So we can say that the object is always exists in the memory until and unless you delete it. So there are the three ways. There are the three ways to break the object or to break the life cycle of object. The first one is the creation of object. The second one is the initialization, and the last one is the destruction. So these three phases are the parts of a life cycle of an object which we will look up. So basically there are many steps by which we can understand the working of the Java object. So there are 7 steps by which we will understand. The first step is the creation of .class file. How the creation of class file, when the program will be executed, the JVM compiles and convert the source code file into the bytecode file, and then the compiled .class file will be stored in the .class file. So that's how the .class file has been created. The next step towards is the loading the class file. So JVM has a class loader system built, which will load all the classes from the program to the class loader. The next step is the initialization of static block. So the static class and the static variable has to be shared by other variables to avoid the conflicts and avoid the compilation error. The next step which is involved in the lifecycle of object is initializing the classes. So how we are going to initialize the classes? So there are 2 ways to initialize the classes. For the first one is by using the reference variable or object creation. So we can create the object by using the keyword new. So the object has been created, and the next way to initialize the object is by using the static method. So the static method and by using object, these are the 2 ways to initialize the object in the class file. The next step in life cycle will be the allocation of memory. So we have been understood that the class file has been created, compiled and initialized. So when the file is initialized, we have to provide to memory to the class file to smoother execution of the program and execution. So there are 2 types of memory: heap memory and stack memory. So all the objects of the object of the class file will be stored in the heap memory, while the reference variable of the same object will be stored in the stack memory. That's how the memory allocation works in the JVM. The next step we will going to check is the last two steps are basically more crucial in the life cycle of the object, because in the next step the object will be created and born, and in the last step the object will be destroyed. So in the next step is also calling the constructor in Java or in constructor in the class. So when the when the class file is initialized and memory is also allocated, the JVM calls the constructor and to load the class file and to execute the class file. So this calling method is the calling method will be happen in only once. So that is why the object is born in only once, and all the execution of the constructor file. Constructor is nothing but it is a method having some methods or sometimes have not. So the constructor will execute the program and the object will be created. So that's how the object is born. And when the constructor call, the object access the constructor will allow us to access the class file and interface. So that's how by accessing the various interfaces, class and other objects, the object will live its life. And in the next step, which is a more important step, is the removing of object. So once the programmer or once the system has an access to the class file or the interfaces or required files, after the execution of task, the user sometimes don't want that files again. So that's how the garbage collector will be introduced. So garbage collector will be called by the JVM, which will remove the unwanted, unreached or unspecified files, free up the memory. So this cycle continues to go on, and that's how the object will be destroyed by the garbage collector. So this is the life cycle in which we have seen all the 7 stages. That's how the object is created, how the object will be destroyed, the memory allocation and the constructor calling also. That's it for today. Thank you.